right. Appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. First and foremost, want to congratulate Wes Offerman and his wife Jess on the birth of Brooks on Saturday. We'll put up with Ryan Anderson here for this week, but hopefully we can get Wes back real soon. But really happy, two people that are going to be terrific parents. From a basketball-specific standpoint, another disappointing week for us from a result standpoint. You go on the road and you play two kind of middle-of-the-pack teams. You know it's going to be tough in the first place, and you lose by one. You turn around and lose by three two days later, and you're close, and you're real close. But just because you're close doesn't mean you're just going to turn the corner. We have to understand those little things that we've got to do a little bit better, with a little bit more urgency, with a little bit more energy, attitude, and effort on a consistent basis to get over the hump. You look at our last 5 games, our last 5 losses are by a total of 31 points. You take away the South Dakota State game where we lost by 19 on the road, or those other 4 losses are by a total of 12 points. That's an average of 3 per game. And you can confuse yourself and say, okay, we're really close, or you can just say right now we're just right there and just not quite good enough. And we've talked to our guys. They believe. You can see that when you're down 13 with 6 to go on the road on the back end of a trip and you battle back to a 1-possession game. But we've got to figure out for 40 minutes those little things that we need to do. For this week specifically, it's a really special week. Starting here tonight, you can see my shirt, Landon's Light. Landon Solberg is a neighbor, is a great friend of myself, my family, in our program. Landon is a 10-year-old 4th grader at Freedom Elementary that's battling a rare form of brain cancer. And someone, to me specifically and my family and to our guys within the program, that means a lot to us. I think what Landon's going through puts losing into perspective real quick, and Landon certainly has a battle on his hands, and we're here to bring awareness to that and help him and his family. Travis and Andrea are exceptional people, and to the standpoint, they go to an auction the other night for something, they come back with something for us. And I think that really tells you a lot about the family, where in a trying time they're thinking about other people. So if we can have a little bit of an impact for Landon, that's great. It's nowhere near the impact that he's had for us in the last couple months, and so we're here and standing for him, and we'll continue throughout his battles, because there's certainly going to be some battles ahead. And then Saturday, senior day, always a fun kind of emotional time for me, and I kind of find myself saying this to anybody that kind of for senior day, they're always real special to you, because anybody that puts up with me for however many years and is in this program, and you get to see on a daily basis the sacrifices they make, the blood, sweat, and tears. They become really special people, certainly as basketball players, but more importantly as people, as human beings. And A.J. Jacobson, Spencer Eliason, and Paul Miller really exemplify what Bison are all about. Coming into this season, and even with this season's, certainly some struggles. Have averaged about 20 wins a year. Had some great success in the classroom. Been to an NCAA tournament. Been back to the conference championship. So guys that are going to be highly successful in life, and proud for me, proud to call Bison, and once a Bison, always a Bison, guys. I'll take questions.
Dave, what's the best way to describe your feelings right now? Frustrated, disappointed, where things sit?
Yeah, I think those are 2 words that are right there. Frustrated, as a coach, and you're just trying to, a big part of what I'm about as a coach is a servant leader, trying to make others around me better so I can become a better version of myself, and just trying to put these guys that have given so much in a better situation. And when you feel like you're so close, you look yourself in the mirror first and foremost and figure out, what could I have done better? What should we have done more? What should we have done less? And we just haven't been able to maintain that consistency from game to game, and even within certain games. And so, we talked to our guys about really eliminating excuses. Yeah, we're close, but that's where we are right now. That's all we are, is close. And what little things that we can do better in the next 3 or 4 weeks to position ourselves for still the ultimate goal.
You haven't gone through a stretch like this, I don't think.
No, this is certainly foreign territory. I think at the very end of the day, Jeff, as crazy as it sounds, this is great for me. This is great for the kids within our program, and this is great for our program. And that may not be what anybody wants to hear, because certainly it really does come down to wins and losses, but adversity really builds character and it reveals character. And, what are you going to do now when times are rough? Are you going to run from it? Are you going to be selfish? Are you going to blame somebody else? Or are you going to just, continually do the things that have gotten to us, a historic point in Bison basketball in the last 5 years?
Have you reached out to anybody how to handle stuff like this?
Constantly. Yeah, I got that question last night on the radio show. And I'd be doing those same things if we were, winning every game by 20. That's just the nature if you ever stop learning. But, Tim Miles has been great, Saul Phillips, Ben Jacobson. That's not to deflect on, some things that are going on within our program, but programs that I really value, guys that I really value, you can see that the only explanation that I have for you at times is college basketball. And this has been certainly an odd year, and we're experiencing some foreign territory, but I think, we had a great meeting yesterday and challenged the guys with some things now and going forward and it's great. You can still look the three seniors in the eye and tell them, the rest of the group, that the greatest thrill of their life to this standpoint is right in front of them in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And if we lock in and do those little extra things that have gotten us close and then do a little bit more, we can still be a part of what I still think is the greatest time of the year, March Madness.
And talking with maybe other coaches like with Denver and Oral Roberts last weekend, they're kind of in the same boat you are. Are they kind of dealing with the same type of issues as your team is too?
It's funny you bring that up. You're talking to assistant coaches, and Rodney before the games and different things, and yeah, we're all going through it. And you're talking about how close yet how far you are away. And I think our program, listening to a lot of other coaches, there's a lot of respect for it. They talk about the things where you can tell when things aren't going well, but yet our guys are still battling, believing, rallying, doing those things. But again, all those things sound great. They look great on paper, but when the actions aren't reflecting the results that we want, we've got to do something better. And as a coach, you're figuring that out. I've gone back and watched this and talked to some, it's just a matter of, I really firmly believe we define toughness by doing the right thing mentally and physically no matter the circumstances. And that's what we've got to get through to our guys' head from myself all the way down for the next, hopefully, 4+ weeks.
Your thoughts on Spencer's decision?
Yeah, I'm happy for Spencer that he's happy. I'm a big happiness guy. Your happiness reflects my happiness. Selfishly coming off, obviously his best year as a Bison and him coming back as a fifth-year senior, I think there could have been some great benefits to our program. But I think, Paul, Spencer, and AJ are roommates. They're tight, and with AJ and Paul being gone, how does that all work into it? And, I know his focus is on getting into medical school. And so is basketball obviously not a distraction. I think it's helped him be the person that he is, but can he focus some energy and efforts in some other places?
What's a game with Mayville State this late in the season, kind of slapped in between conference play, really do for your program right now? Yeah,
I think it has a different meaning today than I think it did when we originally scheduled it. When IUPUI left and it was a void, and you go back to our last year when we were 7-1 and we were going into a bye week, I thought that was the best thing for our group where we could refresh. Take a couple days off, give our guys some time to get their legs under them. But really, we just kind of relaxed within that week. And so that's why you talk about going and talking to colleagues. I had talked to Dan Muller at Illinois State where Will Beasley came in, and he said they always do something like this. And so it was to kind of keep us in a rhythm and routine where now I think it'll be good for us to go out and just compete again at home and hopefully get a positive taste in our mouth. Mayville's a good program. We can't just walk out there and do anything. We got to go in. But that's the beauty of this game. That's the beauty of where our program's at right now. We need to go out there and earn these. Nothing's deserved.
Can you just touch on are you honoring Landon? Is he going to be here? Or just how are you guys involving?
Landon and his basketball team, from my understanding, there's going to be about 38 people around. Landon's been with us behind the scenes in the locker room, and we have a big sign in our video room that's toughened together. And another neighbor of ours, Brody Strom. Brody battled cancer about 5 years ago, and they're the same age. I just get goosebumps as I'm talking about it. And it's unbelievable that the relationship that those two have. You talk about a servant leadership. Brody's big time and being a huge asset for Landon. And so those two have been a big part of our program the last 5-6 weeks.
What's that mean to be able to, with everything you guys are going through right now, your own struggles on the basketball court, to be able to show these young men what life's really about and being able to be there for kids like Landon and Brody?
Yeah, hopefully I don't break down here. Just talking to Casey Matthews about it, it really puts things into perspective, you know. And you hear about stories, you hear about the Dutch destroyer, and that's a national story, and it's great, but you just hear about that. You don't actually live it. And Landon Solberg literally is a wedge shot from my house. You know, his sister and my daughter are classmates. Landon rides his bike to school with Mallory and waits till the girls cross. I mean, this is a 10-year-old kid that doesn't deserve any of this. He's a great kid, very good student, and you show these kids, you show our guys that, okay, you got to make some sacrifices here. Think about what Landon's going through. And I don't know if I should, and so I won't, but say that some of the things that have come out of Landon's mouth about, you know, this process and how he's going to battle it. I mean, you just choke up. You get goosebumps, and you want to talk about tough. Landon Solberg's tough, and if we can stand up there tonight and put some shirts on and provide a platform to bring awareness and you know, give Landon a smile and do those things, you know, we're going to do those things. We're going to do them loud. We're going to do them proud. But what that kid has no idea of is he's having a greater impact on us, on me, than we are in him. There's no doubt in my mind.
Dave, can you update what Dylan Miller's status is right now? I know you traveled with the team this past weekend.
Yeah, Dylan violated some department and program rules, is the best way I can say it. He'll be out again this evening, and then he will be with us and going forward.
He'll be eligible Saturday?
Correct. He will be eligible Saturday.
What's it like, with all the struggles, you still have a shot at getting third place in the conference? Or is your game out of third place?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's great, you know, but to me what's great is tonight. The opportunity for me to watch and see if we took what we talked about, we took what we wrote down, and how that's going to translate. No matter where we stand, you know, certainly third place is better than fourth or fifth. I get that. But we need to figure out this 2 or 3 possession deal in the next month, whatever seed we are. And make no mistake, I want to be first place. That doesn't look like it's an option. Probably not. I haven't figured out the math because I don't really care. But if we can get to third, great. But what I really want to get to is giving our guys a position of success to win that first game in Sioux Falls. And when you win that first game, we've seen what can happen. And I truly, firmly, I've been on teams, I've been on programs where at this point of the year and with the record where you just say, yeah, God, we're just not there. That's not the case with this group. And as much as they believe and as much as they're rallying, as much as they're together, I'm surely not going to run anywhere from them. I'm going to do everything I can. And so third would be great, you know, but getting better along this way the next 3 or 4 weeks is our biggest priority.
Things that you've written down to try to focus on for tonight and then Saturday. Is that tougher because it seems like there's maybe a new thing, whether it's shooting or rebounding each game, that you can't really put your finger
when I
on?
say specifically what we wrote down, I didn't write down anything. You know, I had the guys write some things down, and you know what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. And what they wrote down was unbelievable. It was great. And my challenge, my charge to them now is, it sounds great, it looks great on paper. Now are we willing to walk that, act that for the next 4 weeks?
How does Spencer change your recruiting now?
You know, it gives us a couple open scholarships. We also do have some guys in our program that we've had discussions with about taking care of them because of what they mean and what they've done in the past. So we do have one still for sure, and possibly 2 into this spring, and we'll just evaluate what we feel is our needs. I think as you look at our roster, you know, going forward, next year and the following year will be our 2 most experienced groups since I've been the head coach. So it's part of evolution and trust in the process. And I think the bigger thing that we look for is making sure we get the right buys and the right fit, the guy that fits our profile of past success.
You only have 1 senior again next year, and you already kind of knew that, but be in that boat again.
You know what, Dom? Yeah, it's frustrating. If you want the exact answer, you look at 2009 when we had 4 fifth-year seniors. You look at 2014 when we had 5 or 6 seniors on the roster. That was the blueprint really at that time, to get to where we got to. And make no mistake, that's what we're trying harder and harder to get back to, where we can redshirt kids and we can develop, and we have fourth-year juniors and fifth-year seniors and all that. But the game of college basketball has changed significantly in the last 3 or 4 years. With transfers and all that. And so we have to be aware of that, and we have to plan accordingly, and we have to stop using excuses of youth. I mean, this is what it is, or lack of experience, or lack of a senior, a bunch of seniors on the roster. I mean, that's reality this day and age, and I can see it if everybody stays around, getting better. But I'm not naive to think that because of the landscape of the game right now, there's just a lot of volatility and uncertainty.
You open to transfers more than you have been then?
The right ones that would fit. Fourth-year transfers. I think the big thing for us, as we really look at it and go back, is what we would term Tier 1 Bison. Tier 1 Bison, guys from the 6-state area. That fit a profile, a demographic that has been successful. Obviously, there's no absolutes until you get a young man in here and in his family here. But I'd be crazy not to reflect back on some rosters that had success and look at the makeup of those rosters.